splice it so that we can do that. And go to some mode 9 now.
Yeah. Welcome everybody to episode 36 of
Mode
9. This is going to be an interesting... Dude, actually, it would be really nice if I could figure out a way to do that. Like having someone to write these things down would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Because I'm looking at the time, I'm like, okay, at 25 minutes, I can splice it for this one and then that one. Because going through it, I'm like... That's why I don't listen to the episodes. Because by the time I'm done editing, I've technically listened like 5 times.
So, text me the time where we stopped, and then you'll have it written down. And then we'll do it again.
And then we send each other 25,000 messages, and then it won't.
Right. And then we'll start it again.
So, unfortunately, we were bad hosts.
Wait, start it again. Because you just like ran it like for...
No, I can cut that out. Though.
Okay.
We did not do our homework like we were supposed to.
I tried.
We tried, but
we
have jobs. We have lives.
And people.
We drank our faces off yesterday. And little people. Those little things that run around and get into your shot and ruin episodes and shit. But so the only thing that we do have for today is one episode of Outer Range, because they release 2 at a time,
which is great.
Who knew? I didn't know that until last week. You did?
Yeah.
You just didn't tell me.
I figured you knew too.
No, I didn't know.
Hey, Outer Range, 2 episodes a week.
Shut the fuck up. No, seriously, shut the fuck up. No, I'm just kidding. And of course, Moon Knight. I guess Moon Knight is the one that we're just consistent. Oh shit, that's right. We didn't even do Halo.
Yeah, sorry, Halo.
Damn. And you know what the saddest one is for me is that we were stupid excited for Ozark, and neither one of us got to Ozark, which is kind of. In my defense, my only hang up is I probably would have finished the whole thing by now.
Yeah.
But I had to wait for my wife.
And that's fine. And I'm gonna probably binge. I don't know how many episodes tonight, so.
You'll be ready for next week.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'll be done by next week.
And luckily I have all week. That's 6 episodes?
I don't even know, dude.
Well,
probably.
I'll probably be ready for the whole thing. I want to try to pull that off because we need to do that. But anywho,
Moon Knight?
Outer Range I think will be quicker.
Okay. So
you didn't manage to finish all of it technically?
How about let me just start of what I've finished, because I almost finished it. I just didn't finish it fully, and I'm going to finish watching it. But you can spoil it for me. It's fine. I don't care.
There's not much to spoil.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, this episode's really slow.
And then cutting you off already, but this episode for you is pretty much how I've been feeling this whole time.
The whole.
Pretty much. Like it's like I said, the mystery of the hole. Mel's hole is keeping me interested. If it hadn't been for the mystery, I probably would have given up by now. It's just dragging for. But anyway, go ahead.
So like right now he's barely trying to figure out. You know what I mean? He won her stone that she wears around her neck, which is now we know is amber. That's encasing something. See, I got to that part where it encases something.
It's something encased in amber.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
okay, gotcha. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, is that just amber?
No, it's
got it. Okay.
So something encased in amber. Which is the same thing that the neighbor has. I forgot his name. The guy,
Tillerson.
Yeah, the Tillerson dad. The one that just had a stroke too, right? He had a stroke.
Yes.
Yeah, because he went all crazy on him, buckwalled the episode before and knocked him out and left him next to the damn hole. But I have a feeling he didn't know where that hole was at, right?
I think he did, because I think that's why he's pushing to get the land from him.
Because he remembered.
Well, I think he knows where in a general area, but not exactly where it was. So that's because I mean, when they're talking about him taking the land, they're talking about a
shitload, 600 acres.
Yeah, so 600 acres, like that's kind of hard to find, but he finally found it.
And then because he had found it when he was a kid, and I guess that's when he had the rock.
Right.
Okay, so I'm at the part where he already, he found the card, took the lady's card at the, I guess wherever they do the mining and shit. I don't know about rocks and stuff. That, and then the mom, you know what I mean, going to I guess they're doing like Bible study or something.
Right.
And then she's and you could tell it's weighing on her really bad. Right. To where it's, she knows what she did wrong, and.
Side note, the Tillerson wife, who I actually presumed was dead, came back.
That's right.
Found out the oldest son is kaput, and heard about the land dispute thing. So she came back out of nowhere, which this lady is the way that what's her name, Beth from
Ozark?
No, not Ozark. Yellowstone. Is it Beth?
Oh yeah. Yes.
The way that she's kind of like a business badass.
The entitled.
It's
rich.
almost like this is the older version of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of a badass in and of herself. Like,
I could see that.
Like a ball buster.
Yeah,
not in the derogatory way, but just like she's a fucking badass. Anyway, so that's leading up to where you're headed.
Yeah. So they went to meet the mom. You know what I mean? She calls out. The Mrs. Abbott, was straight up in front of everybody because they were going to go give her food, because the husband had a stroke and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So she calls her out. And then I think that's it. That's as far as I got.
Okay. So there's not
I have
too
like
much.
20 minutes left.
Yeah, there's not much more
and
after
it's
that.
Probably just like dead space, silence.
It's a lot of
dark.
It's a lot of filler. A lot of filler because Royal, apparently they show Royal at the beginning of the episode doing, I don't know what even. I can't remember.
Rock stuff. When he went to that place that surveys and does mining and
that's right. And then but the family doesn't know where he is, so they're like, where's Royal? Oh,
because he got knocked out and he went straight over there.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's been missing for a while.
And I saw that she buried the bear. It was a bear, right?
She didn't. She was gonna bury the bear.
Okay, that's where I stopped because she dug the hole.
She's digging the hole, but then and that I gotta say it again, the mystery is keeping me like hooked. But what keeps me actually watching, put my phone down and actually watch, is things like that where just the shot of her with the bear is cinematically fucking gorgeous. Like, it's really fucking good. And then they show a shot where they don't just do an overhead shot. They do an overhead shot, and I'm assuming with a drone, it's like turning clockwise at the same time. Dude, and cinematically, it's just really fucking good, and it's a disappointment to me that the writing isn't better. But, so all that happened, and then she doesn't bury the bear. She kind of stares at it, thinking, I don't know what exactly, and then takes it to the barn instead. And then they cut to a stuffed bear where they're showing more of the cutscene with the Tillerson dad and the son, where they're talking. They're basically like establishing what I guess like a foreshadowing thing where he's telling them like, well, if anything ever happened to you, did you want us to get vengeance for it? And he's kind of like, yeah. So I guess that's a Tillerson, not creed, but their mentality. Kind of like something happens to one of us and the rest of everybody else needs to avenge.
Or assemble.
Yeah. And there's honestly not a whole lot that happens after that. To be honest, I can't think of anything really.
Yeah.
It just... Hold on. I live right behind or in front of... My backyard is on a main street. It's not super busy, but busy enough to where people like that. Anyway.
So, I mean, we got one more episode. So next week we'll have 3 episodes of, hopefully.
Oh no, I'll have one. I'll have watched the other one before then, so it'll only be 2.
Well, that's what I mean too, but we'll have to review all 3 next week.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we'll have to review 3 of them. Yes, yeah. We'll have 3 of them to review, which will include the finale because there's.
Yeah. That's it, right?
For those that are caught up until now, there's only 2 more episodes left.
Yeah.
So it'll be the finale. 2. I have a feeling now that I know what's going on, or have an idea of what's going on, I have a feeling what's going to happen is that they're going to give the full backstory of why the Tillerson is so captivated by this thing, and Royal's going to find something out that's going to be a cliffhanger, and that's where they're going to end. They're not going to give us an explanation of what the hole is, why it happened, or anything like that.
Spoilers. This is what I think really quick because I know that we're done with time.
Okay.
That girl, Autumn, is the little girl. The daughter.
So, Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, that's true. You're right. My bad.
So
Moon Knight.
Okay, let me get this straight. They're pulling from different comics to make this series, which all the other Marvel MCU stuff is done, right? Are you as confused as I am as what the hell's going on now?
I'm telling you, dude. If it were if it were not Marvel, I think I'd be shitting all over this fucking show because the pacing is just not there for me. We're what, 5 episodes in?
Yeah.
I don't think there's been enough explanation as to what the fuck is going on for me to justify it's good.
Okay.
But it's Marvel, so I'm just like, and like we keep saying, in Marvel we trust. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna roll with the punches. Like at this point, they have me so, they almost have me as fanboy about Marvel as Star Wars.
Okay.
Because honestly, like I've said before, Star Wars is not great. It really isn't. But I'm so hooked that I'll defend it tooth and nail. Okay. And I'm almost at that point with Marvel that I'm just like, they can't do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. You make me watch the Dark World again, I'll be like, fuck yeah, it's Marvel. So I don't think there's been enough story. Like this one probably has more just because they went into the whole afterlife thing, which is pretty cool.
And did you see that the hippo, I can't remember her name, referenced the afterlife of Wakanda?
I figured we were going to get into that, and I don't know if that's just fans reaching, because yes, I understand they did mention the astral plane or whatever, or ancestral plane. Yeah. And they show the panther that's in the little meeting room that they had. Okay. They showed the panther god.
Okay, maybe I missed that part, but
so there's a connections. But I'm not convinced yet that it's 100% because of the multiverse. Okay. Because it could be, that's in there, but that's not a direct tie-in. It could be, but that's another thing. The Marvel has so many fucking Easter eggs. It's really cool. I saw a meme that was like that. There's like the casual fan. Mm-hmm. I think we were talking about Star Wars, but it's kind of the same thing where it's like the casual fans are like, oh, this is cool. And then you have the super fans who are like, fuck yeah. Because it's a lot of references to the Clone Wars, and Marvel is the same way. Because the casual fans are just like, okay, that's a cool show, but the super fans are like, dude, they just fucking showed this character, they just showed that, they referenced this character, they referenced this comic series, like, and I'm right in between.
Okay, so I never watched the comics. I never read the comics of Moon Knight. I knew who he was.
You have a better memory than I do at this point. Remind me to give you the Wolverine, before you leave.
But I kind of did a little deep dive and TikToks and stuff like that about this. Did you see where they're saying that the third personality came out, Jake Lockley?
What do you mean, where? And during the sarcophagus?
No, during this episode.
Oh, yeah.
With the Brooklyn accent almost, kind of acting a little crazy.
And you know what? The funny thing is that when he did that, I was like, is that Steven trying to be a badass? And that makes sense. It's like, oh, so that's Lockley. Like, okay, that's going to be interesting. They're setting up enough to where I think this is going to have a season 2. Because it's hard to tell with the shows which one is just a one-off. I thought
this was a one-off, too. I could have sworn that they said it was...
No, but that's what I mean. That's presumably what people are assuming. But I have a feeling that this could... Either that or they're just going to bring him into the MCU, like the movies. Yeah. And that was just the introduction. But I could see them doing a season 2. I would be willing to watch a season 2.
So, and in all Marvel nests, MCU universe, fandom, blah blah blah. I don't know what it was.
Right.
I brought my DVD. Guess what comes out at the end of the week? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It comes out on the 6th, bro. Ooh. Holy hell!
We've said this before. This time I'm going to look directly at the camera and implore you guys. We'll start up Patreon. We will set up not a GoFundMe. What's it?
Just Pay Me.
OnlyFans.
I'm gonna call it an Just Pay Me.
Just Pay Me. I would love to be able to have a full episode where we've caught up on reviews and all this shit, because we just don't have the time. We have real jobs and families. Sponsor us. We will gladly review all these things on time and have Morbius and all this other shit completely watched, because at this point we're so fucking far behind.
I know, we haven't even watched The Secrets of Dumbledore.
I haven't even watched Dumbledore. And unfortunately, this actually we should call it Moat 9 the Marvel fucking review, because that's almost all we do.
Well, I would say like 80% of it, but
we just don't have the time. Unfortunately,
it's because the MCU just every freaking week we have something new.
Yep.
And it seems like there's no gap. There was no gap between Moon Knight and 2 days, and and Doctor Strange. There's no gap there.
Because honestly, I don't even necessarily, my intention wasn't necessarily to have it just be Marvel and Star Wars and geeky shit, like that's what we call it. But honestly, I would love to do Ozark and Outer Range, and I would love to have caught up on completely on Yellowstone, more non-geeky, I guess.
Yeah.
Just shows and movies in general. There's tons of movies that I should have watched by now, but I just haven't. Like most of the Academy Award nominees, I wanted to have seen them by now, but unfortunately we just haven't. Death on the Nile. We've been talking about that fucking movie for God knows how long.
And I hope that movie doesn't suck, because if we're waiting this long and anticipating this damn movie so long, like Moonfall.
The show that you mentioned, what is it? We Own the Night?
Yes.
We Own the City?
On the HBO.
I want to watch
with
that one, but
on his toupee.
Yes, that shitty fucking hair, dude. And then he has a podcast.
Oh, does he?
Real Ones, where he's talking about that one. I think I'm really gonna get into. I haven't watched an episode or heard an episode yet, but just the clips that I've seen, it's more he's talking to guys about guy stuff and being a dad and stuff like that. Which I saw the clips and I could get into this shit.
Okay.
That it was called Real Ones. I want to check
Real
that
big
one out.
ones?
No, just real ones. Not dildos. Real ones.
Shit! I wasn't even thinking that, but okay.
There you go. You're welcome.
But back to Moon Knight.
Back to Moon Knight.
So I mean, the premise of this episode is just so crazy. I saw clips of them going back to the first episode when the little girl calls them out, and she says, what did she say? How does it feel not to be accepted into something?" And fucking Steven's gone. No.
Yeah.
Steven, right? Yeah, because Steven and Mark. Yeah, Mark. Steven's the one that fell over the boat.
Yes.
So
not to be accepted by the Reeds.
Yeah, and then I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, so is that true? Because literally Steven sacrificed himself so that Mark could live.
Right.
So is this like kind of like, but then, yeah, dude, this fucking episode is like everywhere.
It's all over the place. I will say, it did hit me right in the feels, I guess. The whole thing where it's Mark that's the actual person and Steven is a made up personality to deal with the childhood trauma.
Yeah.
That shit, I was like, yeah, that one fucking hit. Like, cause I think a lot of people have a version of multiple personalities. Mm-hmm. That's probably where you get like, oh, well, you're different when you drink. You're different when you're with these friends. Yeah. I think that's a mini version of that. So that one was like, that one hit fucking home, like him having a traumatic childhood. Yeah, that was pretty deep.
And it does deep dive into like his brother and his brother passing away and it being his fault. You know what I mean? So you said that this episode was going to be controversial, the Moon Knight episode, not this episode,
right?
But the Moon Knight episode. And then when I started watching it, I'm like, okay, I can see where it is. You know, and the mom with the belt and the stuff like that.
No, dude, but that supposed controversy, I think, was like in episode 3 or 4.
Was about what?
I don't know. I still haven't figured out what that was. But anyway, I get what you're saying. Like, because I think this one, I'd have to go back and really analyze it. But it seems like this one is deep diving into more mental health than any other show or movie so far.
Yeah, because nothing has been this intense or this in depth about mental health.
Yeah,
and there hasn't been.
That's another thing I could see how, and we're probably reaching, but that's one of the things that I like about this stuff that I think most people don't get is that it does dive into that stuff.
Yeah,
in a fun way, kind of, or a not so traumatic way for people to deal with that stuff, and that's what comic books did for kids.
Yeah,
because like you listen to, I get super mushy when I hear Stan Lee give interviews because like I was rewatching one where he's talking about Spider-Man that one of the things he loves about it is how Spider-Man is head to toe covered. You don't see his face, so any sex, creed, race can pretend that they're Spider-Man because he doesn't have an ethnicity when he's Spider-Man. Yeah. Peter Parker does, but Spider-Man doesn't. Yeah. So that's why when you have Peter Parker or when you have Miles Morales, it makes sense. Any of them can be Spider-Man.
Exactly.
And you can't really have that with any of the other ones.
No.
So that's really cool. And Moon Knight, I think, is kind of diving into that a little bit more, which I think is really cool.
And did you see that hippopotamus already? We were singing the hippopotamus song. I sent it. Oh my god, you still haven't seen it? All right.
I saw like the first part of it, and then I switched to something else or something happened. But I'm like, dude, that's fucking good.
But Oscar Isaac is doing phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, this is kind of like if we go back to a different movie, it's kind of like what's his name that does 26 personalities in.
Oh my god, fucking
not
McAvoy?
Unbreakable. Yeah, James McAvoy.
And Split?
Oh my gosh.
Shit.
And even Morgan Freeman was like, it's amazing how, at one minute I'll be talking to one character and the next minute I'll be talking to another one. You know what
Freeman.
I mean? Yeah. Not Morgan Freeman.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
I got you. Okay.
That's my bad. He was like, at one minute I'm talking to him, and then the next minute I'm talking to one of the other personalities, and the way that he transitioned was phenomenal. So, I mean, and it showed it in the movie, you know what I mean? Because that franchise, which is Unbreakable Glass, right? Glass, and then Split, or Split and then Glass.
Split and then Glass,
Split and then Glass is phenomenal. I love that series.
Yes.
I've always liked it.
It's and it's funny because I was talking to, apparently his name is JJ, but I don't know his actual name. But
Javi, if you're listening,
there you go.
We're shouting you out, buddy.
Yes. We were kind of talking about that a little bit because he was talking about the Dark Knight versus the Batman. And I haven't rewatched it yet, but just looking back on the Batman, I'm going to stand by. I think the Batman is going to blow the Dark Knight out of the water because now the Batman is making the Dark Knight look like the Dark Knight made Michael Keaton's Batman.
Okay,
to me
that makes sense.
Because
I can see that.
It's still phenomenal, but it seems very comic booky. It seems very watered down. Like the Batman is getting into the dark shit.
Gritty,
to me.
a little bit more gritty,
very much
very
so.
dark. Yeah,
I'm gonna call it right now. I think I don't remember the kid's name, but I think this kid that's gonna play the Joker.
Oh yeah,
I think he's gonna be the best Joker that we've seen so far. I love Heath Ledger. I love the Joker that he portrayed. I love Jack Nicholson. I love the Joker that he played. But I think this kid is going to be a better Joker. This other kid, Dano, he did a fucking Riddler that it's going to be...
Paul Dano?
He did for the Riddler what Heath Ledger did for the Joker.
Exactly. And we're talking about Barry Keoghan? 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 Is that what
Was it?
Barry Keoghan?
Keoghan? Barry Keoghan? Yeah, something like that.
DJ
We're probably
Keoki?
fucking up. DJ Oki.
Yeah,
so...
he does really good.
I got crazy excited when they said... I pretty much knew they were going to do a sequel, but that's going to be fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. So yeah, anyway. Full circle. Moon Knight.
Are you bummed that the season finale is only 42 minutes?
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it's 42 minutes. They already released it.
Yes and no. If the show had been better so far, I think I would have been. But at this point, I'm like, I think it's just going to be lackluster anyway. I don't think that's going to leave me like, oh my God, that was fucking amazing. I don't think so. But
you were like, fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's like, it's all right.
So,
but we're going to finish it, obviously.
Yeah.
It's going to go... We'll definitely have to, once it's done, we'll have to revisit our list of where do the shows sit in order, because I don't think it's going to, I think I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier better than this one. I really like WandaVision. I even like Loki. I think I like almost all of them better.
Like What If, but only certain episodes.
Yeah, What If had like two that I can think of. The Thor one.
Yeah, it was like me.
The zombie one was really fucking cool. I think that was one of my favorite ones.
And I think they're going to bring that back in the next...
Did you see where they really narrowed in on the Captain Britain? Or
so Captain Marvel...
shit.
Yeah, Captain Britain, right?
I can't remember.
I think so. That's just coming back. And then the new excerpts of the actual hand on... Did you see? I sent
Professor
that one
X?
Yes. On the
yellow one?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. They called out the Illuminati by name. That is probably what I'm crazy excited for. I'm really curious what they're gonna do with the Illuminati, because the Black Panther is supposed to be one of the main guys on the fucking.
And
but then again, so is Doctor Strange,
and Iron Man, and
so it's gonna be interesting.
Namor.
That and you showed me that they were gonna that they confirmed that he's supposed to be in this. So it's gonna be interesting.
And then of course Black Panther is supposed to have to deal with Namor and the fight between them, Wakanda and I guess Atlantis. Is it Atlantis?
I don't know if it's Atlantis. I know because I believe
it's Butlantis.
Dude, there's just, it. The more I hear about it, the more it frustrates me how people are like, this phase is just not as good. I'm like, dude, they're building towards something. And the multiverse is already. We're what, 4 movies into this phase? So it would be like saying back when Iron Man 2 came out.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah, no.
Look what happened between that and Endgame.
Yeah, bunch.
That's what's gonna fucking happen with this. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Fucking amazing. So next week, I know it's gonna be hard to get Doctor Strange in there. Sorry, it's gonna be hard
to get him in there.
Yeah. Well, between both of our schedules and stuff that's going on, so more than likely we are going to do Ozark. We'll finish off. Ozark.
We have to do Ozark. Outer Range will be done by then
for sure.
I think even Halo will be done. Almost all of them are going to be done by then.
Yeah, Halo
we're doing
too.
Season finale, which is perfect timing because fucking Obi-Wan is coming up soon.
Yeah, May 27th. I think.
I thought it was earlier than that.
I don't know. I think it's the 27th. They pushed it in a couple days or something. So we got a handful of stuff that's going out. So more than likely. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get Doctor Strange in there, but in 2 weeks we probably could. I mean, and the ticket sales are amazing. They're going by like I'm looking at seats, and I can't even find seats in the theater. So even it's like the matinee Sunday morning, I can't find seats.
Yeah.
So more than likely we're going to push that another week, which is fine. So it gives everybody a chance. All our hundreds and hundreds of listeners.
Yes.
So that
you'll
we don't spoil
all
it for
have
you.
time to watch it before we do.
So, and we got a handful of stuff. Diabolical, did you watch anything on that?
No, I need, and those are, you said like 12, 15 minutes.
15 minutes at the most,
so those
and
should be easy.
They're funny. They're very graphic, but it's animated. So
the one that I'm super excited for to figure out when the fuck they're gonna start coming out again is Invincible. That one I really got into.
Oh yeah.
If I have to choose, I would much rather keep watching Invincible than The Boys.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know when The Boys comes out too.
It's supposed to be pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think that's why they did Diabolical, because it's helping to push The Boys. If you go balls deep, I probably will watch it just so that we can talk about it. Mm-hmm. But honestly, at this point, if it were just me not doing the podcast and just watching to watch, I probably would have given up on The Boys.
So we're looking at June 3rd, so we got enough time before that to watch everything else. So I think we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, as usual, guys, thank you for everything. We keep forgetting, and it's not on purpose. Shout out to Cinema Across Time.
Yes, Brando.
He just did Ghostbusters one, which we kind of talked about last episode. But if you haven't checked it out, go check that out. I feel like there's something else that I wanted to shout out, but I can't remember now. So I'll probably throw it in the notes or something. But anyway, be good to each other, and more importantly, be good to yourselves.
Peace.
That was good. That was a fucking chaotic. Editing this shit is gonna be.